Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and money color commentator. On today's show, Index Annuities, part 3 of our series on basic financial solutions with financial advisor and president of the Society for Financial Awareness, Jim Chilton. Welcome to segment 3. Jim, we talked a little bit about it at the tail end of the segment. Index annuities. Now, when most Americans understand the S&P 500, it's a domestic index. It's got its own VIX report. Everybody gets it. I can see it on channel. If I watch any channel, you'll see the side. It'll show the NASDAQ. It'll show the Dow. But it always shows also the S&P 500. Everybody that buys either an index annuity and or an index life contract is buying the S&P 72% of the time. You could buy domestic or foreign on all these contracts. Let's walk through why it's a consumer-centric product first. Why is this a good deal? We talked about safety, and you mentioned index annuities in the safety segment. Let's talk about it now as a product that actually can do not only safety, but do some other things as well.
Well, let's work backwards. The idea of an annuity, annum, Latin, okay. An annuity is a bucket, and you have 3 phases of that bucket. You accumulate it, you preserve and you grow it, and then you take distributions from it, okay? An annuity is designed to pay the consumer a supplemental ongoing stream of income, usually over their lifetime. So when you get an equity indexed annuity, it's like taking your vows. I mean, it's basically you're going, okay, this is going to be with me for the rest of my days. This thing is going to be a water tank that is going to draw from, I'm going to draw from it all the time. Now, when you talk about the S&P 500, and we're not going to belabor it, but it is the ability to have a sustaining growth of the market. Why I like an equity indexed annuity and why I make it a cornerstone in my retirement planning for people is simple. The insurance company gets into a deal with us and says, and I love this from the consumer, you know, when the market goes up and they say, hey, I made 12% on this, but Jim, I looked at my statement and I only got 8%. And I go, well, you're sharing in the profits with the insurance company. And they go, behavior again, Steve. I don't want to share. I go, okay, I understand that. So when your money was in 2008 and never one penny dropped, yet everybody around you in their 401k and yours plummeted, how much dropped in your equity index annuity? Well, nothing. The insurance company was on the hook for that. Oh, did you want to share in the losses with them? Well, no. So you don't want to share in the victory, but you sure as heck don't want to share in the losses. And they go, yeah, you're right. But the key is not so much the S&P 500 as the index, as the lifetime income benefit rider. Because in an equity indexed annuity, the annuity itself, there are no fees. I'll say that again. There are no fees. The rider is like a room addition. You understand that? And there is a fee for purchasing the rider on an annual basis. Now you'd say, well, why would I need a lifetime income benefit rider? Well, Steve, if you shopped all the banks, where are you going to get 6 to 6.5 to 7% guaranteed for 10 years?
Non-existent.
Oh, that's pretty good. You didn't even waver and say, well, you know, just non-existent.
Right.
Non-existent. Well, with a lifetime income benefit rider, you're purchasing that rider as a cost. So I put that rider on to my equity indexed annuity, that house. I put that room addition onto the house. I make that happen. Why? Because as my older clients age and so forth, they want the return of their money, plus they want a guaranteed return. And that return keeps building up over time. Now, there's an interesting trade-off, and it's a real head-scratcher to some people. There's quite a deal you make. You can turn on that rider. The insurance company will build you a payout stream fixed for the rest of your days. But the issue is, if I take the money, I turn off my guaranteed yield, and that S&P 500 index becomes very important. So many times, depending on the age of my client, we will use what I call it the doggy door. Because if you own a dog and you close your door and you lock it, there's that little square with that flap. Well, that's 10% liquidity every year. So if you had somebody put $100,000 into an equity indexed annuity, they have liquidity of $10,000 a year. But remember, what was the purpose of why they purchased that? To accumulate money. So they don't want to defeat the purpose by taking it out early.
Okay, now let me stop you there. You said a huge issue that I don't want to run past our consumers on, because I'm always surprised at the mail I get.
Yeah.
Okay, you said lifetime. Now, I'm thinking old Susanna just died May 2016. She died as the last living person in the United States who was born in 1899. She was a tricentenarian. She died at 116, so she's a supercentenarian teenager on top of it, right?
Yeah.
So if I had that annuity, and old Susanna had that annuity, that would have paid all the way out to her 116th birthday. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, but let's get to the fun part of it.
Oh, that wasn't the fun part.
No, the fun part was she turned it on in her late 70s. She had no idea she was going to live that long, right?
Sure.
Okay, so she's drawing from it. So the value of the water tank is going down, is it not?
Sure.
So let's say at age 83, she hit the sucking sound, right? The last money going out of the drain. Because she has the lifetime income. Say it with me. Lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay, and she lived to 116. Okay, actuarially, that's not supposed to happen.
Right.
Who cares? She's living. The insurance company's on the hook, and if she turned on that rider, right, she's getting a fixed payout miles beyond zero. So let me ask you a question. You know, it's almost biblical. So we have the two men. One built a house on the sand, and the other one built a house on the rock. And the storm came. And we know what happened to the house with a foundation of sand. It collapsed. So if I built all of your money in the market, and we had a 2008, another terrorist attack, whatever it is, and your money goes down, now the young advisor would say, oh, yeah, but Steve, you'll make it. Wait, if you're in your 60s and 70s, and you're in the bottom of the 7th inning of a 9-inning game. You know what I mean? It's a dramatic impact on your cash flow. So with an equity indexed annuity, that foundation of that rider is the only thing out there that when you get to zero, it's still paying you an income. So if I had to build the ingredients of a perfect retirement salad, how could I not include an equity indexed annuity? Can't lose in the market. I have no downside risk. The money can grow. I have a guaranteed rate of return for usually about a decade. Then I have the ability to re-up it of whatever the terms are, or I can roll it over through a 1035 exchange. That's a tax-free exchange from one annuity to another. You know, and if you have a bonus annuity, that might take care of any of your surrender charges, and you're right back again getting another fixed term. So when I talk about safety, I really want you guys to understand this. Liquidity factor has a very important play, because if you took all of your money and put it into an equity indexed annuity, and then you had family issues, you had to help your kid out, and you're way beyond your 10%, then you're going to get screwed over by your surrender charges.
Well, I think this is a fascinating thing, and I keep saying this. I've talked about this on my show before, but this is so huge, because even though the account may be zero, the insurance, we paid for that, right? Now we're going to be paid. If I'm old Susanna, 116, but if I had a COLA on that, even for 1%, it'd be going up every year. That is guaranteed. If I was the Guinness Book of World Records, Jean Clement, out of France, 122 years, 164 days. I mean, just think
Maybe you ought to enroll in the Tour de France. What do you think?
I need to do that. But but those are, people say, but Steve, those are outliers. Okay, fair enough. But Willard Scott says, happy birthday to a handful of Americans who turned 100. We used to have a show, used to get on the Smucker's jar just because you turned 100. So look at the odds of us living into our 90s and our hundreds is huge now. Those are big numbers. Those are actual realities. When you look at the new 2012 actuarial tables, they're pushing males out to age 86.6, females to 88.8, and a married survivor of that marriage to 93. That's the average in America, not the anomalies. So when we're talking about guaranteed growth, right? Or I mean, not guaranteed growth, but I could not lose, and I could have an annuitization where I could have a lifetime guarantee I can't outlive. That, to me, I like that part as your cornerstone and a safety of principle. I mean,
without a doubt,
it's a huge issue. This is part of your process, and you're one of the guys that have talked about this all the time because it's so foundational to your thinking. Conservative baby boomers are looking exactly for this kind of product. Listen, don't forget to watch our next segment on life insurance with living benefits, part 4 of our series on basic financial solutions. And keep in mind, before moving forward with any of the ideas on our show, always check with your tax consultant, legal counsel, or financial advisor. You've been watching Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game.